Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Mortis, where movie madness lives. This is our podcast. I am Nick. Who are you people?
I'm Drew.
Tim.
Alrighty, and today we'll be discussing Top Gun Maverick, the sequel to Top Gun. It follows Tom Cruise as Maverick, and he has to lead a school full of new pilots who will take on a dangerous mission.
Well, they're technically not new pilots because they've already graduated from the Top Gun school.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that they don't have dogfighting experience. That's kind of
Right.
it. That's kind of the thing.
Right, yeah. So, we might be making some references to the old Top Gun, but the subject will still be Top Gun Maverick because both Drew and I agree we actually like this more than the original. This I don't know if that's a hot take within the
Like
community,
way,
but
like way more.
I mean I like
Like
the
like
original Top Gun,
like
but Top Gun Maverick just improved upon everything. It improved upon everything, and it's a
yeah,
great legacy
like
sequel.
yeah, and it's like the first Top Gun. I don't think it's even all that great of a movie, to be honest. Like I think it's
Ooh.
like it works, but it's like I don't think outside of the 80s cheese, I don't think there's much special about it. I mean,
Hmm.
I think it's one of those movies where it's like a lot of the characters are just douchebags, or like those are they're all like the fucking they're all like the stereotypical jock characters. It's like if you it's like they have a whole squad of jock characters who are just douchebags, and
I mean,
and
I feel
I'm
like
just
that's
not a
kind of
fan
the
of them.
appeal. They're military men. They're macho. They like to have good times while off the, well, they like to have good times, and they're still very young. Not and I and when that tragedy hits where Goose dies, it fucking hits. It's
Yeah,
like, well, it happened. Why aren't these guys happy anymore? Why aren't they laughing, joking?
yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too crazy about Top Gun 1, but I liked it, but Top Gun Maverick was absolutely legit. I forgot how cool that movie is. Like, I've seen this two times, once in theaters and once in one and then another time before this podcast, and I'm just like, man, I miss seeing this in the theater.
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX on Memorial Day when it
Hmm.
came out. The it was a sold out showing. Uh, there was a bunch of like military people there, a lot of like retired Navy people and all that. Also just people like me who like movies, and
Yeah.
it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we should probably say this off the bat. Of course, as we all know, last week the guy who plays Iceman, Val Kilmer, passed away last week from the time we're
As
recording
of
this.
recording this video, Val
Yeah,
Kilmer has passed away last week. Whenever this gets
yeah,
uploaded, it's probably been like either a month or two.
yeah. First off, rest in peace, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, you were
Um,
you were really good.
and I will say I was watching Top Gun Maverick today to get ready for this podcast, and that he Val Kilmer only gets one scene in this movie, but it's with him and Tom Cruise, and it's such a powerful scene. It was
Yeah.
powerful before because they had to incorporate Val Kilmer's actual illness, his throat cancer, into the script because he couldn't really talk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see that now, it was already a powerful
Dude,
scene
that
before,
scene
but
hits
it's like,
harder. That scene hits harder now that he's
yeah,
dead. Yeah.
yeah, and it's very sad.
Hmm. Hey, Tim, what did you think? Oh, I wanted to ask you real quick. What did you think about the movie? What did you think about Top Gun Maverick? And do you like it more than Top Gun 1, or do you think Top Gun Maverick's a superior movie?
Well, I mean, when I first saw Maverick, I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm just was happy to. I mean, funnily enough, I watched Top Gun literally like the day I was before I was supposed to go see it. Like I watched Top Gun first, and then the next day I watched Maverick.
Hmm.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
So, but I never knew that Kilmer had throat cancer. So what happened with him? What's his beef? What was going on with him?
Well, he had throat cancer, and so he had to obviously his vocal cords got damaged, and
Hmm.
and here's the thing, he was still acting in movies, but someone else had to dub him over. He had to get someone else to dub him over. Like Not in Top Gun Maverick, but in other movies too.
Yeah.
So is that why he fell into obscurity? Like,
A little bit. I don't really know the full Val Kilmer lore, but well,
he
I mean,
wasn't even like.
when actors who are known for being on screen tend to get like certain illnesses. Like look at Michael J. Fox. I don't think he's been in a lot of movies because of his Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
Because I've been wondering why many 80 movie stars have fallen off the radar, which is very strange. You think that they'd be on top by now. So
Well, they get
Well,
old.
well, yeah, it's not that strange because a lot of the people who were movie stars in the '80s were probably born in like the '50s,
Yeah, that's
and it's
true. I
like
mean,
it's like they're probably in their 60. Oh, I think Val Kilmer when they did Top Gun Maverick was like 62,
hmm.
and so um, I'm sure some people, I mean, some people like another guy who was popular in the '80s, still popular now, Harrison Ford. He's in his '80s now,
He's
so
still
it's like
doing
they so
movies.
yeah.
Respect,
But
honestly. I mean,
yeah, but it's like
and
that's not.
Robert De
Yeah, but
Niro.
that's not.
How old is he?
He's probably in his 80s too, 70s or 80s.
Um, let's see. 81 and still going. Oh, God bless you, De Niro.
Yep.
Keep on trucking. And let's not forget Sylvester Stallone. He's still doing things.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
But yeah,
yes,
but yeah, that's not. My point was though, that's not everyone though. It's like
yeah,
people get sick, people get old. It's like it's not. It's not really that strange of a concept that they wouldn't be acting much, and a lot of them wouldn't be acting in any
that's
like
true.
super high profile projects because they get old and things happen. It's like, I
Yeah,
mean, look at Bruce Willis. We talked about him several weeks ago, and who did Die Hard. It's like
yeah.
things like that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Every
I
every
mean,
every act every actor's story is different.
yeah.
Everybody's. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, they're, at the end of the day, actors are humans. They
Hmm.
have human vulnerabilities.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So so I guess we should probably just talk more in depth about the movie now, rather than
Yeah,
just
movie
Val
time.
Kilmer's part. Um, I will
So
say though, I something that I really appreciate about this movie is how it takes what happened in the first Top Gun and actually character wise actually builds upon it. Like obviously one of the big powerful scenes in the first one is when Goose dies, and
mm-hmm.
they kind of make the almost the plot of this movie about that because there's this beef between Maverick and Rooster, who's Goose's son, and you find out that he pulled his papers from the Naval Academy and took years off his career because he didn't think he was ready and he was afraid of losing him, and he never told Rooster what happened, and Rooster resents him about it. That's kind of one of the major arcs of this movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all rooted in what happened years
Yeah.
earlier when they failed to eject properly and Goose died because of it.
Oh yeah, and when you mentioned that, like there was a callback near the end where they could not eject at all. Like when he was telling
Yeah.
Rooster to eject, the handle was stuck. It's like, well, this is how we die, huh? Like first an
Hmm.
ejection kills my friend. Now we both die together because we can't eject.
Yeah, and I like how the line from Tom Cruise right before um, Glenn Powell's character, a hangman, comes in and saves them at the last second. Right before that, he says, I'm sorry, Goose," like almost talking to him, sort of,
Yeah,
you
and
know, talking to him
I
sort
actually
of from beyond the grave.
on my second rewatch, I noticed that he's called Hangman because he always leaves people hanging to out and dry. But
Yeah,
here,
and
he
I
was just
yeah
he actually manages to save somebody, and it's just like he left you hanging, but not to die. He just needed time to get
yeah
there, and I think that's a real
yeah. Well,
great callback.
especially because in that scene, Hangman wasn't one of the initial pilots selected to go on the mission. He
Mm-hmm.
was part of the reserves that were there just in case.
Yeah, that's true. That is very very true. I mean, it's funny how we jumped right into the ending before we talk about like any other film,
Yeah.
but I mean the ending is very impactful. I mean, the climax itself is so cool because they actually go
Yeah.
into that canyon, flying around, trying to not go above and to get shot by the SAM missiles, and then
Yeah.
like it's just so gripping and tight. But once the actual enemy aircraft show up, trying to hunt them down, shoot them, and it's just a nice scene. And I think they really expanded on it because like in the old Top Gun, it was only aerial fights. It was only aerial fights and
Yeah.
nothing else. But um, in Top Gun Maverick, you actually got to see like there's a scene, that scene where Tom Cruise is on the ground and he wakes up and he sees an enemy helicopter trying to shoot him down, only for
Yeah.
Rooster to come and save him, and then Rooster gets shot down by more
Yeah.
SAM missiles, and then they sneak into the base, trying to sneak in through all the hysteria, stealing an aircraft, and yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
something I really appreciate though. There's something that they did in the first Top Gun, but I appreciate what they did here. I know it's not like necessarily realistic, quote unquote. I usually hate using that word to describe movies,
Well, that's fine.
but I like that they every fighter pilot's helmets during the action sequences
Mm-hmm.
has their name on it and it has like a unique design,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps the audience, it makes it easier for the audience to identify which pilot they're following in that specific shot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know what I mean, right? It's
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
makes it because when they're covered by all that, by the helmet and the face mask and everything, it can be, if it was
Mm-hmm.
just the standard military fighter pilot gear, you'd probably get confused as to who's who.
Yeah.
But I like that they made it clear so that the way the audience can be like, oh, so we're following Maverick, or we're following Rooster or Phoenix or Hangman or any other pilots. So
Hmm. Yeah, what I think is also kind of cool is well, not what I think is cool, but this is a piece of trivia I mentioned before that so most of the flight scenes were actually real, like they were all shot
yeah,
in real. There was no like, I mean, there was a bit of CGI, but it was not a complete over reliance on CGI. Like they actually had real planes flying and everything. Um, According to Miles Teller, who plays Rooster, 3 of the 6 new actors actually threw up during all the flight scenes.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I mean, I would probably throw up. I'd probably throw up. I mean, I don't do well in motion
I
sickness.
mean, I mean, I mean, for me, I'm terrified of flying, so I wouldn't be able to get in there anyways.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to fly in a plane, fly in a passenger plane, but it's another to fly like 360s and doing barrel rolls in a military plane.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll probably stick to either Microsoft Flight Simulator or Star Fox.
Or Ace Combat.
Yeah. Oh, Ace Combat, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you make of all this? What do you make? What do you make of everything we just said?
I did want to mention one thing. How come Maverick's love interest didn't return, or what's up with that? Like,
Uh, Good question.
I
I
actually don't
forgot.
know.
I
I
forgot.
actually don't know. I believe it was Kelly McGillis in the first movie. I think her name was Charlie. Uh, I do not know what happened to her, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh boy, here I
well,
was being worried about being a schmuck by getting trivia wrong, but now we completely forgot a plot point. It's over. Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, I'm just
so
kidding.
there's no explanation to why she didn't come back. Oh, so
I think
there's
there is. There is. I just don't remember. I don't remember. Hey.
Well, she's not really mentioned at all in the movie. I'm sure there's probably some behind the scenes reason why she didn't come back, but I don't
Yeah.
know what that reason is. Plus, I think Jennifer Connelly does a great job as Pete's love interest in the movie, as Maverick's love interest in the movie.
Yeah.
as whose
Penny
So
love
is her
interest?
name.
yeah, Penny is her name. Yeah,
Whose love interest?
Mavericks.
What
Hmm.
in the new movie?
Yeah.
What?
Uh,
Yeah. In the new movie,
yeah,
the love interest is Penny,
Yeah,
which apparently she divorced. Yeah, which apparently she found. I don't know why. I forgot why. Like what happened in between the last movie, but yeah, they broke up. or something, and then like got remarried, then broke up again. It's just like, hey, Maverick, I choose you. And there's even a scene where like her daughter is just like, he notices Maverick sneaking out. Is like, just don't break her heart like last time.
Yeah, I thought that was like kind of a funny scene, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
The way she just pops up out of nowhere, you can see her just blankly staring at.
Oh, actually, hang on. I had to do a quick. I don't think they don't mention they don't really mention Penny in the first Top Gun movie.
Well, yeah, just like how they don't mention Kelly McGillis and Maverick.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just doing like a refresher. So I'm like, hang on a second. Well, it's Mavericks. Kelly McGillis is Charlotte, and that was the first love interest. It's been a while since I've last seen the first Top Gun movie, so don't bully me, internet. I, besides, if you try bullying me, the voices will win. Just kidding. Anyways, Top Gun Maverick. I guess I guess that was kind of like an old girlfriend from Maverick's past who he suddenly sees now running a bar, and then like she teases him by going, "Hey, pay for everybody's drinks." Like, "Oh, here's the payment." No,
Yeah.
fuck you. Don't. I ain't taking your. I take your tips. Get the fuck out of my bar. That was
Yeah,
great.
I like that. I like that. I like that scene a lot. Yeah.
What's that?
I
What's
remember
that?
when
Sorry, you first.
I remember when I first saw that Top Gun Maverick in theaters and that scene came up, and once Rooster got on the piano and started singing that Balls of Fire song, I'm like, oh God, is this going to be another one of those movies with the where everyone's just the same jock type character, military jock type character? And I was very pleased to find out that it was not. They were. I mean,
I
they
mean,
have a little bit of that in them, but you know, they don't come off as totally unlikable. So I actually think most of the characters are pretty entertaining in this movie.
yeah.
I mean the characters besides Maverick, of course.
Yeah, the
Although I,
whole cast was actually very entertaining.
oh yeah,
They don't have a lot aside from Maverick and Rooster. There's not a lot of tension between them. Well, there's also Hangman and Roosters when Hangman said like hey Maverick killed your daddy or something or whatever.
yeah, and then
Like
they
that's the
start
only
the
time
fight
there's
at
tension.
the
Like
training
I
scene.
love seeing those moments when they're just hanging out, chilling. Like I like the part where Maverick is training on their dog fighting and like a virtual fight where it's like every time they get out they gotta do push-ups. Like there's a scene where Rooster's doing push-ups and like the other three come in, hey, take a selfie. They get out and then like the push-up guy's like, oh, ain't so funny with the selfie now, huh? Like it's nice to see these characters just kind of chilling out and just having fun.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and there's also the football scene too. They're playing like football where Maverick's kind of watching. It's like, I thought you were building it, and like the colonel guy's like, I thought you were building a team. It's like, well, I am building a team. It's right there. And it's nice to know. And it's actually, I think did Hangman ever apologize to Rooster, saying like, hey, sorry for bringing that shit up about Goose or whatever?
In a way, I guess, because they do sort of make up at the end
Yeah,
after he saves their lives.
yeah,
So
they do. That makes sense. Um, and I think it's kind of interesting how like spirits kind of get back up after like Maverick and Iceman meet up. Like in the one scene where he gets bought down after Rooster gets told his dad died and he gets mad at Maverick for holding him back. He talks with Iceman in the flesh,
hmm
and then eventually and then they have that moment where they're still doing a little training, and then Maverick gets told he's dismissed, and then like he goes to Iceman's funeral, and then eventually he's like, all right guys, this can be done. So he demonstrates how it can be done in
yeah,
the training. Like it's like every time they meet Iceman, it's like every time they meet every time Iceman comes back, like Spirit, I mean, it's still sad to see like Val Kilmer in such a state, but but like after they meet him, um after they meet him, they everything's back up in spirits again. Like there's more morale within the characters.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the point.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, feeling down, let's go visit Iceman. Oh, one visit later, now I'm motivated.
Yeah, and also too, I think you
I'm
can
not
tell
trying to
the
make fun of the
yeah,
scene by any chance. I think the scenes of Iceman are very touching and heartwarming.
yeah, and I think that's kind of the power of their bond.
Yeah.
That he's able to motivate Mavericks. But no, I need to, because throughout the movie he's struggling with. He's like I can't. He's like, I'm not a teacher. I can't teach these people, and I especially can't teach Rooster because we got this history between us.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Iceman who's like, no, that's what he needs. That's what the Navy needs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they it's like they need you, Maverick. And before I move on to something else, Tim, what do you make of all the characters? What do you make of all the characters?
In the old or new movie.
New one. We're talking about the new one.
They're cool. Just the jock guys I had a bit of an issue with, but at least they made up for it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what was who was the antagonist in that movie anyway?
There
It's like,
wasn't
were they
really an
funny?
antagonist except crippling doubt and the enemies in the uranium base.
Yeah, they kind of kept it deliberately vague
Yeah, they
about
did
who
that.
the
They did
enemies
that in
were.
the first one too. They did it in the first one because I feel like
Yes,
the
they
entire
did.
series is about camaraderie and pulling through in tough times. That's what the whole series is
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And cause like I Drew, hang on a second. Sorry, I dropped something on my desk. Drew, I know you mentioned that you don't like the douchebaggy stuff, but like again, people they tease each other, and then they're there for each other. They lift each other up and help each other. Like the whole series is about camaraderie. I mean, granted, probably the whole movies are just Air Force propaganda just to join the Air Force, but
Yeah.
there is genuine heart and character within the Top Gun movies.
Yeah, it's funny. I've heard from several people that it's like when this movie came out, movie theaters would literally have U.S. Navy recruiting stations outside the theater.
Wait, the Maverick or the original?
Yeah, probably for both, but I heard that I'm mostly talking about with Maverick, where it's like they had recruiters with recruiting booths outside the theaters whenever you come out of a screening of Top Gun Maverick. So
I didn't think that
you
was
know,
real. I thought it was just a meme.
no, it's true.
Oh my
Granted,
gosh.
granted, it didn't happen at like every theater. Like it didn't happen at my theater, to my knowledge. But
It didn't happen at my
you know,
theater.
yeah, but it did happen at some theaters.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But I
Um
think going back to the enemy thing, it's like I think with this movie, it's very much trying to be escapist entertainment, and
oh
so
yeah, absolutely.
especially in today's political climate, whenever you
Mhm.
start naming enemies and stuff, you could possibly get into you can potentially complicate things. But
It's
so
that damn neighbor. He is responsible for everything. I'm just fucking with you.
yeah.
That's an old reference right there. That is an old ass reference.
hmm
Oh shit. Hang on. Something might be okay. Sorry, I had a computer froze for a moment, but we're fine. We're good. We're back in speed.
All right.
Anyways, um,
I will say though, I also really like the scenes between the Colonel guy and Maverick. There's like a handful of scenes where Maverick gets in trouble with this Colonel guy,
oh
and
yeah, because I think he was like in the first one too, but yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I think I really like those scenes. I find them to be very entertaining.
Tim, what is your favorite scene in what is your favorite interaction throughout Top Gun Maverick or the first one? It can be any. I know, fuck it, do both. Favorite character interactions in Top Gun series, the whole series.
Just like you let me talk, say that fight the Maverick jocks. So
Hang on. I think you just broke up. You just kind of you kind of broke up in the pieces. Can you repeat what you just said?
said it was the argument between Maverick and the jocks where
Really?
after a plane, I believe. Yeah,
Really? Was that from the first one or Maverick? Was that the first one or second one?
one.
Oh, you like the argument scenes?
I don't know why. I just, every time I hear someone arguing where it's not my business, I have a tendency to listen to what's going on and stuff. So,
I guess maybe there's. I mean, maybe you just okay. Like, I'm wondering. Like, I'm wondering maybe you found like there's an interesting debate or between the two. I mean, there's a lot of movies about arguing, so man, we could do that in the future.
I
yeah,
guess.
that's kind of it. So, I don't know why. It's just, interesting to me. So,
Hmm. I for me, like I said, it was all the moments of camaraderie where they all come together in the end. Like when when in the first movie when Maverick and Goose were hanging out, and then like Maverick reunites everybody after a mission, and then there's like the football scene, and of course where Rooster is playing the piano to everybody, and it reminds Maverick of Goose, and then just
Yeah,
Maverick
yeah,
getting together with his former love interest. It's just nice. It's great human interaction. It makes you feel good. It's warm inside.
yeah, yep. And that's what that movie's. That's what Top Gun Maverick is trying to be. It's trying to be like I said, it's trying to be escapist entertainment that is a fun time. So,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah. Drew, what was some of your favorite character interactions? What was your from the entire series? I know it's Top Gun Mavericks to focus, but fuck it, let's do the whole series.
Well, it's definitely from Top Gun Maverick. Any, I don't know. There's so many good ones. I really like the stuff with Maverick and Rooster at the end when they're both before, like just before, as well as during the mission. It's like you can tell that they're kind of starting to finally come together, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
great conclusion of their arcs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
plus I think the performances from both Tom Cruise and Miles Teller are just fantastic. So,
Oh yeah, Miles Teller is a great actor, and he was
oh
definitely
yeah,
there. But real quick, before we move on to character interactions, while doing my last minute trivia research, I learned that Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise, they loved being on set together, but they had to do the whole scene 62 times because they kept laughing in between takes.
yeah, I read that too. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because just a couple episodes ago, we talked about Troll Productions, and I mentioned the Island of Doctor Moreau, where Val Kilmer was such a douchebag to work with. But like, I don't know, seeing him in this humbled state now just makes me kind of feel like wow, I just Kilmer actually cared and genuinely loved the art of acting. It just but then again, Dr. Moreau was just its own set of problems as well, especially with Kilmer learning that his wife divorced him on live TV. But we're not talking about the island of Dr. Moreau.
yeah,
We're talking about Top Gun Maverick. But my point is just like it's so crazy just hearing a horror story involving Kilmer, then really like, oh hey, he actually likes doing this. Holy shit! Not Dr. Moreau, but just acting in general.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um. So yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to mention too is but anyways, I feel like we should know this movie's technically not only is it just a sequel but a legacy sequel too, and
Hmm.
in this era of legacy sequels, this might be the best one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I think so.
it
because
treats
because
everything.
because I think what it does, what a lot of other legacy sequels fail to do, even some of the other good ones,
Mm-hmm.
what it does do is it takes the original Top Gun, right,
Yeah.
and it kind of refines it and it builds upon it and it makes something that's like really better than the original. So,
Oh yeah.
but it also feels like the original too. But I guess it has similar like character arcs, and the plot line is very similar. In a lot of ways, you can look at Top Gun Maverick as a bit of a soft reboot, I guess, but it takes the blueprint that the original laid out, and builds upon it and makes it better.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah, I agree. And they also treat the main character with respect. Like, he's not really washed out or angry. He's living his
hmm
good life. He's testing aircrafts which he likes. He loves flying.
yeah.
But but
I
and
mean,
even
he likes flying to the point where he still can't get a promotion above captain.
hmm.
That's kind of another thing in the movie too, where it's like
Oh yeah.
even Ed Harris, who plays the colonel at the beginning, or who plays the admiral at the beginning, he's like, dude, you should be like a two-star admiral right now, maybe even a senator. It's like, but you're still a captain. Like, what?
I'm willing to bet his favorite song is "Learning to Fly" by Tom Petty,
Probably.
or "Fly Like an Eagle" by Steve Miller Band. One of those two. Anything involving flying, really.
Yeah, because I think the way that look, I've never served in the military, obviously, but
Me
I
neither.
think the way that military rank works, it's like once you get a certain rank, once you start climbing up the rank, especially as an officer, because all pilots are officers, so
Hmm.
it's like well, usually once you get up to us as you climb the ranks, your time is more spent uh, in the office, more doing more like sort of administrative stuff rather than actually like flying and being in the field and stuff. So as you climb through the ranks, your flying time gets less and less. So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have family in the military. I think a couple flew planes. I don't know if I think one of them was Air Force, but he's no longer with us. I've had several family members in the military, but I never asked them about their time in the military or what they did. I think I don't maybe I did at one point. I just don't remember. Herpy derp. But yeah, but going back to the fact of the Legacy sequel, it's like
mhm.
it's like Maverick also felt very nostalgic for Top Gun Academy. He's like, wow, first I was a student, now I'm teaching, and it's again
Mhm.
they treat Maverick with a lot of respect, and they add more onto his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam, what do you make of all this? What do you make of Top Gun being a perfect legacy sequel, or just a general sequel in general? Uh, Tim, are you trying to speak right now? Oh no, not again. It's happening again. Tim, we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, mate. I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, folks. We're having some technical problems. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Tim. You're not producing any noise. I don't know if you tried to speak earlier or not while we were talking, but we can't hear you, mate. Sorry. Drew, is Tim frozen on your end, or is it just me?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, well, we hear you now. Say words, Tim.
what happened?
For some reason you weren't speaking. We couldn't hear you, but now you're back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my browser fucked with me again. So
I thought you closed your browser.
what? Well, yeah, well, it auto closed. So like
Auto close? Well, we can discuss the
it
technical.
it it disrupted it, so I had to close it and turn it back on again. So,
Okay. Well, anyways, what do you make of all this? The fact that Top Gun Maverick does well as both not just a sequel but a legacy sequel as well. What do you make of all that?
just happy that it happened. So there was a big sequel. There was a big, decade gap, but it was nice that it finally got a sequel. So
Hmm.
and a
Did
proper
you
one.
what do you mean by you're happy that happened? Like, what were your expectations when we were going into Top Gun Maverick?
Well, I mean, I was just happy that I get to talk about it even after when it first came out. So
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be honest, because I had a few low expectations going into Top Gun Maverick, because like it's a sequel to a movie that came out in the '80s, in the year
Yeah,
of our Lord 2024 or 2023,
2022,
2022.
2022.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's just like that's a pretty big gap. Like
Yeah,
I don't
a
know.
lot of those kind of sequels can be very hit or miss because often those kind of sequels are often made with cynical motives by the studio, and they get people who don't necessarily like or understand the original, and so you get messes.
Hmm, hmm.
You
Yeah,
know, so you get movies that just have nothing to do with the original. So,
yeah. I mean, American Psycho 2 was never meant to be an American Psycho sequel, but they slapped American
mhm.
Psycho on it for no reason.
Well,
And they wrote
that's not
Patrick.
that's not really a legacy sequel because that came out like what, a year after the first one.
Oh yeah.
That's like we're talking about movies that came out like decades after the last one.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Yeah, yeah.
That's a legacy. That's a legacy sequel.
I don't know if Men in Black International counts.
I guess it counts. I didn't see that one.
I heard it's bad. Um, okay, I'm trying to think like what would be a legacy sequel that came out, because they gotta have a big ass gap.
What about the recent Ghostbusters movies? I didn't
Oh,
see them,
I
but
liked Afterlife, but I didn't see Frozen Empire. I mean, Afterlife was not terrible, but not great. It was all right. Afterlife was all right, but I heard Frozen Empire was bad. I didn't see. And I don't know. I don't think. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna do a double check. I'm gonna double check real quick. Does this count as a legendary sequel? Legacy
legacy
sequel.
sequel.
2000. Okay, 2009. Um, I'm checking if Ace Ventura: Pet Detective Jr. counts as a legacy sequel. I mean,
What?
it's a because here's the thing. You know the okay. I don't know if this counts as a legacy sequel or just blatant cash grab. It's honestly more of a blatant cash grab since Jim Carrey is not in that movie.
Yeah, I would say it's blatant crash grab.
Yeah. Plus, Jim Carrey's not even in that movie, so disregard what I just said. Disregard that.
Yes.
But once again, Top Gun Maverick just does it so well. Like it handles everything with
Hmm.
respect. It keeps that running theme of camaraderie and escapist fantasy, all while still having a huge, ginormous heart and incredibly bright soul.
Hmm. And and yeah, it has all those things, and it probably made a decent amount of people want to go join the Navy and become fighter pilots.
And
So there's that too.
did they say that there was more increase in Air Force recruitments now after both Top Gun 1 and 2?
Well, there was after the first Top Gun. A lot of people wanted to become naval aviators after the first Top Gun. I would imagine it's something similar with Top Gun Maverick as well,
Interesting.
because you know, because especially since you had to figure it had the U.S. Navy helped with the production of both of them, with the
Hmm.
fighter pilot scenes and all, with the dogfighting scenes and all of that. So they probably had some input on what they could and couldn't show.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna put on my media literacy cap and say, would you think this movie is more propaganda than it is escapist fantasy?
I mean, you can look at it as both. Honestly, I mean, like remember when this movie came out, whenever people would tell me, "Oh, that's just military propaganda," I'm like I never know what to say to that because it's like the U.S. Navy were involved in the making of the movie,
Yeah.
so it's like
And I didn't really feel like
there's
I was
not
being
really anything.
sold. Sorry,
It's
go ahead.
it's like there's not really anything I can say to rebuke that.
Yeah. I mean, that's true, but like I never felt like I was being sold that I should join the Navy.
Neither
Yeah,
was I.
I get it. The movies glamorize the freaking army and stuff, but like I never felt the
Hmm.
incentive to join the Navy. If anything, it made me
Yeah.
wish I maybe wish I had a whole lot of friends who would just we'd just be arm in arm, pat each other on the back, and just play football or whatever, you know? Like
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I respect our soldiers and stuff, but like I never really saw the film as like blatant propaganda. It's just like just because something is portrayed in big light. I mean, yeah, there's like product placement and shit, but I never saw the film as like as propaganda. I mean, even if there was like
yeah.
involvement, like
There's not a thing at the end of the movie before the end credits would be like join the Navy or something like
yeah.
that.
I mean, even then, there's probably going to be some people still claiming that we lack media literacy and that we completely miss and that it is propaganda. We're ignorant. But to that, I say, I don't know. What's an insult that they do in the movies? I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, the whole military propaganda thing. That's not something I can necessarily rebuke, other than by saying I just don't see it.
Oh wait, no, it's not an insult, but those people have to pay for all of our drinks. Yeah, every single drink we buy, you pay for it. Tim, what do you make of all this? Do you think Top Gun Maverick is like more? Do you think the Top Gun series is propaganda or is it just escapist fantasy entertainment?
Okay, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. It's not propaganda. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah,
There's no political message behind it. So I just don't see. It's just a fun light action
yeah.
movie. So it's a bit absurd. It's a bit stretchy to say it has some partisan political message behind it. So
I mean, yeah, like they don't even say who the enemy is either, like we mentioned before.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said,
There's nothing.
it's fun, and the heart and
There,
core of
there
the movie
there's
is. Sorry, you first.
there's nothing like overtly political about it. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah, there's military and stuff, but like the core and soul of the movie is the camaraderie between the characters and how they get over
Mm-hmm.
their differences and how they get over tragedies and
Mm-hmm.
how they get over doubt. It's a
Yeah.
very uplifting movie, and that's I felt
Yeah,
good watching it.
and it uses the setting of of a military fighter squad, the themes of the context of a military U.S. Navy fighter squadron to tell that story about camaraderie and getting over your differences and stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the military stuff is a vehicle for that type of story.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it's
once
the same
again,
reason why it's the same thing why like war movies are so prominent and so popular is because war stories in the setting of war it can be a vehicle for all different types of stories. That's why that's such a popular. That's why World War II and all these other wars are such a popular backdrop for
mm-hmm.
a lot of these kind of stories because you can tell the various types of stories within them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously,
Yeah,
obviously, Top Gun's not World War II, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah, but and again, the focus is not join the Navy, raw, or like
Hmm.
blindly support your country. The focus is, hey, here's these two guys in the military. They're great buds. Oh no, tragedy strikes. How they get over it? They're good pals now. And like
Yeah,
I said, that's the
yeah.
heart and soul of the movie.
Hmm.
Yeah. And one thing I did while like double checking my facts and everything was I. So here's the thing: Jennifer Connelly's character Penny was a running gag in the original film, an unseen character mentioned as an admiral's daughter, whom Maverick had a scandalous relationship with. In the script of this film, Maverick was to reunite with Penny for the first time in the bar after returning to Top Gun.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, but they realized there was the awkward interactions of Maverick rekindling, and as a teenager, and it was a stretch to depict them having a deep connection over Maverick's plight. So during reshoots, lines were added to establish that the characters had been in an off and off relationship for many years. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Hmm. Like adding again, this is like the part. This is another thing about Top Gun Maverick too. It gives Maverick and company a lot more layers.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like there's a lot, and I feel like this last minute piece of trivia that popped up out of nowhere is actually proof of that. Like, oh, you mean you hear that running gag? Well, it turns out it was actually a lot more serious than they make it out to be.
Yeah, it gives a lot of things about Top Gun Maverick. I think the best thing that it did is that it gave the story more dramatic weight than the first one. Gave it more gravitas, if you know what I mean.
Gravitas. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's a lot more character. Yeah. Uh huh. I think we should comment on the movie's soundtrack.
It's great.
Hell yeah, it's great.
I
Like
mean,
you
it's
got
it
the
was
returning, you got the
it was
returning song for when Maverick arrives at Top Gun Academy,
yeah.
and you got like the song that plays when they're playing football. Yeah, it's like a generic trashy pop song, but it's kind of what you do in like when you go to sports, but when you go to beach bars and whatnot, no one cares about the music. They're here for like the sports, the sun and games, and I think the song I know Lady Gaga also provided the soundtrack too. She played the credits song.
Yeah, a song that was near the end. They also reused the iconic uh, song "Danger Zone" at the beginning of the movie,
Oh
because of
yeah,
course.
Danger Zone. Yeah, danger zone. I went through the danger zone. By the way, I apologize if my voice sounds very hoarse and rash right now. I just did a school project where I had to do takes of me yelling something for the sake of comedic effect. That
It's
is
all
not a
good.
joke. That genuinely happened today, as of recording this.
Yeah, and also the main score was I believe composed by Hans Zimmer, I believe.
Wait,
Um,
Hans Zimmer. That guy popped up again. I swear.
I know it was I think so, Hans Zimmer,
Wait,
or was
I
it?
swear, I swear, he was on one of our movies we covered. Hans Zimmer. Hang on.
Yeah, yeah, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just let's
I'll
see
be damned.
here.
Let's see.
Yes,
Okay.
it was. So according to my iTunes thing, it was composed by Lauren Balfe, Harold Faltermeyer, Lady Gaga, and Hans Zimmer. So it
I'll
had a
be
bunch of
damned.
people involved. So it had a bunch of people involved.
Damn, this guy, the guy is Hans Zimmer is in almost everything. Almost.
Yeah.
Didn't we cover what movie did we cover that he was in? Having a little having some memory problems.
I don't think we covered a specific movie. I think he just came up at some point when we were talking about music
Yeah,
during on the
yeah, that makes sense.
podcast.
And he might come up again and
Hmm.
again.
And again.
Excuse me. But yeah, that's yeah. Again, like I said, this guy I didn't know, I didn't know he was in. I didn't know he did Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
According, I don't think he did Top Gun 1 though. He just did Maverick.
Nah, he did. Someone else did the first one.
Eh, that makes sense. Um, but yeah, the soundtrack was really cool. It reused a few songs from the old movie while also giving it a new coat with a new identity, making it very very fitting for the setting of when the film both came out and when it was going to be set in. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
there was a specific date the film was set in. Like, I don't remember seeing like any like iPhones or whatever.
I think it's safe to assume it's set in modern times because there's clearly been
Yeah,
a time jump. So
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't know. I don't think it's particularly relevant, to be honest,
That's true.
as far as
That's
as
true.
far as like an exact year. I think it's just
Hmm.
modern times.
Yeah. I will say, just to go on a random tangent, early 2000s nostalgia is inching its way.
Yeah. Ugh.
Hmm.
So
But
I don't know about you guys, but I really don't have much else to add about Top Gun Maverick other than it's
I
way
feel
better
like
than
we
the
I feel
first
like
one.
we just I feel like we literally just said everything I need to say about Top Gun Maverick. I mean, we could just read more on the IMDb trivia page. I mean, we did talk about how like a lot of the jet fights were real, right? We talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And compared to the first one, like there's a lot more. You actually get to see the jets. You get to see like more like into the cockpit. Like you see behind them, the scenery's turning upside down. Like they're actually in there. And like
Yeah.
most of them, a lot of the jet fights were real, but there was a few instances of CG.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
didn't you mention that one of the planes they flew was taken out of the museum, or is that someone else?
I think that was a line in the movie that was kind of a joke.
Uh,
Um,
okay. All right. But
yeah.
are you looking? I
I'm
mean,
looking
I
at
mean, I've.
I'm looking at the trivia right now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think we just hit the 50-minute mark.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
what did you guys think of the opening scene? The
it
when
was.
he's testing that new
Oh
sort of
yeah, he was actually like
experimental
out of the Earth's
thing.
atmosphere. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool. That was kind of cool, though. I thought it was very funny how we didn't see the plane crash, and he just like arrived in that little restaurant where he's like, "Where am I?"
Yeah.
And the kid just says, "Earth." It's like, well, yeah, I
Yeah.
know I'm on Earth, but like, what? What is this? A new country? Is this a city? I thought it was kind of neat, but it's also showing just like it's just a matter. It's like, yeah, part of the job. I fly planes.
Fly experimental planes where you
Yep.
nearly kill yourself by going too fast.
I can make a joke about Drive, but I'm gonna wait till we discuss Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for Top Gun Maverick. It was a really amazing film, a film that not only respects the original but even surpasses it in many ways. And oh yeah, I
Oh,
wanted to ask you, Drew.
oh here's a fun bit of trivia.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from IMDb. Because she suffers from a crippling fear of flying, Tom Cruise helped co-star Jennifer Connelly overcome her phobia by taking her for a ride in his 1946 vintage P-51 Mustang, a World War II plane he has owned since 2001.
No
So
way. He actually
that
owns a
happened.
plane, his own World War I plane, like for
World War
real.
II plane. Dude, he's Tom Cruise. He's a fucking millionaire. He can probably buy whatever plane he wants.
Like I know he was involved. Did was that a gift when he was still in Scientology, or did he just buy it because of his Hollywood money?
I don't.
I'm not trying to accuse Tom of like still being in Scientology or anything, but it's just like, damn, how did he fucking sell it as that thing? Holy shit.
Anyways, what was your question? You were
Yeah.
gonna ask me a question.
Drew, as someone who does not care for the original Top Gun but really loves
Mm-hmm.
Maverick, I love Maverick too. Let me ask you:
Mm-hmm.
Do you do you believe that this film could be watched without any prior knowledge of the original?
It could. It could.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm in the camp that I think you need to watch the original first before you watch Top Gun, so you get a sense of feeling of all the characters. And yeah, they show flashbacks to Goose and him dying, but I feel like if you never watched the original, you won't know who they are, and you won't feel that connection. You won't feel that connection.
Yeah, I do think you should watch the original Top Gun before you see Maverick, but I don't think it's a requirement necessarily because I think they do a decent enough job of building the context. You can that the audience can just use context clues to figure out who's who.
I,
But
I
you know,
guess, but no one's gonna know who Iceman is, and I feel like when you do watch,
it's set up that he's a very respected admiral who is friends with who used to fly with Maverick. So
fair,
I mean, like
fair,
I said, I think you should watch the original Top Gun first before you see
yeah,
Maverick. I just don't think you have to. And that was
all
your
right,
question, right?
yeah.
That was your question, right?
Yeah, I mean, they did with Savage Kung Suits, but I feel like all those emotional moments hit a lot more harder when you have the knowledge of when you have this knowledge when you already seen the original and know like okay you know who this character is, you know why he feels so much for Rooster, and it just hits all
Yeah,
the more hard.
it does. Yeah, and I don't think it makes the original Top Gun any better, but it
I'm
does.
not trying to say the
Um,
original Top Gun's any better. I think Maverick's superior, but I do feel like everything hits harder when you after you do watch it.
it does. Yeah.
Tim,
Admittedly,
Tim,
I
what do you?
have.
Sorry, you first, Drew.
Admittedly, I haven't watched the original Top Gun since probably 2019 was probably the last time I watched it.
For
So
me, it was 2020, the year the movie came out, because we watched my mom and dad rented out in Prime, and we watched it together, and then we watched Maverick, and yeah,
yeah, I really when Maverick came out, I was like, I don't really have much of an interest in watching the original Top Gun before Maverick. So
fair enough. Fair enough. And again, I've been watching the Mad Max movies completely out of order.
It's all right.
But anyways, Tim, I'm gonna direct this question back to you. Do you think that people can skip Top Gun 1 and watch Top Gun Maverick? Yay or nay?
I prefer it if they didn't.
Oh, interesting. Any reason why? Care to elaborate?
Because it should act as a direct sequel, or and because you'd appreciate the first film. You'd appreciate it a lot more in context from watching the first film. So, yeah, so it makes more sense if you watch the first film before the new one. So
intriguing,
yeah,
very very intriguing.
Because
right.
Because there's kind of quite a bit to understand compared to just watching it, by itself without knowing the entire context. So
fair enough. I mean, as Drew said, they do give out context clues, but you make a good point. Like, it definitely makes you appreciate both movies, but there's also a lot more. You're a lot more knowledgeable of the context of everything. Yep. But still, overall, I thought Top Gun Maverick was incredible. It was amazing. I just wish I could watch it in theaters again because those flight scenes are just those chef's
those fighter scenes in IMAX were a sight to behold.
Oh yeah. Better yet, I want to watch that shit in 3D. Fuck it. Fuck it. Do it in 3D, man. We'll do it in 3D. Tim, final thoughts on Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, Tim, do you have any final thoughts on Top Gun Maverick?
Not really.
Fair. I will add one more thing, and that is when I saw it in the theater the first time, I forgot. I don't know what scene it was, but one guy clapped and cheered for some reason. I don't know why. I forgot. Maybe it was when he went back to Top Gun Academy or put on his helmet or something. Like he just like clapped for some reason. I don't know what the reason was. Like it was not even at the end of the movie where people clap and stuff, but like it was literally like some point. I don't remember what it was, and I'm not trying to make fun of the dude too because like in the end we got a good movie, and I don't remember what scene he clapped at, but that was just a little story, a little side story. Some guy, some scam account tried messaging me in the middle of the movie, but I just fucking ignored it. Like, I had my phone on silent, by the way. I had my phone on silent. I wasn't.
It would have been, dude. It would have been hilarious if it was the U.S. Navy contacting you during the
Oh no, it was just a guy saying, "Hey, you did some illegal shit with a minor. Click here to see what we're talking about." I'm like, fuck that. It's like, I don't do shit. Like, why are you telling me to click on your sus link when why are you telling me to click on your sus link, man? That shit. Like, yeah. But I ignored it, and I ignored it.
Yeah. It was the Navy being like, "Hey, you want to become a fighter pilot for real?"
Yeah. That was this, I got a scam text saying like, "Hey, you did some illegal shit. Click here to see what you did." I'm like, well,
Yeah.
aside from my war crimes in Bulgaria, you ain't got no proof of shit I did. Anyways,
all right. I think that would be a good note.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good note to end it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to movie Mortis. Eat your school, stay on vegetables, and don't eat your school, stay and don't cross the street or something. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe for more movie content, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-o!